Hey everyone, I'm Chaz, and this is Khan. And tomorrow I'm going to try and run my fastest mile. Now, this fastest mile is going to come with an asterisk, or probably 3 or 4 different asterisks, because the only way I'm going to be able to run this fastest mile and try and beat the times that I've done in the past is to do it downhill. So this downhill course, I've done this downhill course in a workout before. Now I'll put the profile for this 1 mile course that I'm going to use up here. And the GAP is about 10 to 12 seconds slower than the actual pace that I've done in workouts before, which have not been 1 mile time trials. And me being at this point in my life a 5:12, 5:13 mile runner, I'm going to try and go sub 5. I've never gone sub 5, and again, this sub 5 would come with a big effing asterisk, but I figure if I'm going to get an extra 10 to 12 seconds on GAP, maybe my willpower can give me those extra 2 or 3 seconds. So we're going to give it a try. Shoes for this time trial. A lot of you might suspect that I would use the Nike Streakfly 2 for a 1 mile road time trial because this is the goated short course super shoe. But since it's such a stark downhill, and since I'm in the middle of summer grit right now and have a lot of miles on my legs, multiple miles, not single miles, I'm actually gonna wear the Puma Fast R Nitro Elite 3. Save my legs some of the pounding and really my calves, because every time I go all out in the Streakfly, I feel it in my calves. So we'll see what happens. Khan, do you think I can run a downhill mile in 5 minutes? Wow, your vote of confidence is heartwarming. So as I've said, my goal is to run a sub 5 minute mile downhill. It's a tall order. I also have some other secondary goals in case that sub 5 is still out of reach. B goal would be to run an unofficial 1 mile PR, which would be faster than my fastest mile. My fastest mile is a 5:05, and that was on a flat course. So hopefully I can beat that. I was a younger person then. And if I can't do that, then I'd like to take the Strava segment, because it is a Strava segment. The current CR for that Strava segment is 5:15. Maybe I can nab that. And if I do, then Chris Rowley, who has the segment, it's going to be a very temporary thing, because he'll go and take it back, because he can run a 4:40 mile on a flat terrain. So we'll see what we can do. Any success I have will be temporary and have several asterisks next to it. All right, I've got about 5 minutes before I try and attempt this thing. I'm all geared up. I'm wearing my RADrabbit team singlet. I'm part of the 2025-26 RADrabbit team, so I'm wearing that, as well as the Fuel and Fly split shorts. I'm wearing the Puma Fast R Nitro Elite 3, and I'm gonna try and film this thing as I'm doing it. There's a little bit of light in the sky. In about 5 minutes, might be a little bit more light, so hopefully we'll get some good footage of whatever train wreck happens. All right, CCMF. Okay, here we go. So the data on the screen is about 10 to 12 seconds ahead of what you're actually seeing. That's just how the timestamps match up.
Here we go. And we're on.
And that crosswalk was my start line. I also, on my warm-up, put chalk markings on the road every quarter mile so I could look at my watch and take splits along the way. This first couple 100 meters, I'm trying not to look at my watch. I'm trying to just go by what I think 1 mile effort should be. But there I just looked at my watch and I saw a 5 something, which I thought was too slow, so I picked it up a little bit. This is also where you will see my heart rate on the right side of the screen steadily but fairly quickly creep up. If you are keeping an eye on the data, the instantaneous pace is in the bottom right of the screen, and then the speed in miles per hour is the large number on the left side of the screen, and a 5 minute mile is 12 miles per hour. So I just passed over the 1/4 mile mark in 1:13, which is a couple seconds ahead of schedule, but I can't say I felt good at this moment. And this stretch of 100 meters or so right here actually flattens out and almost turns uphill a little bit. So I'm starting to feel all of that effort. I'm not getting the downhill help here. What's going through my head right now is I still have plenty of downhill help left on the course to help me out. And this right turn on Avenger is about 600 meters in, so I'm thinking I have about 1,000 meters to go, which isn't the best thought right now, but at least I'm being honest with myself. Okay, there's the watch check at the half-mile split, and it said 2:29. Still ahead of schedule, but I lost a second from the 2 seconds I had in the bank at the 1/4 mile. If this were a flat mile on a track, I would be in the 3rd lap right now, and the 3rd lap is the hardest. However, on this particular course, the 3rd quarter has the most downhill, so I'm trying to put that in my head and know that this 3rd lap is actually going to help me and not hurt me. In that little double take of the watch, I noticed I was at 1 kilometer in, and it was just over 3 minutes. And I was thinking to myself, is that my fastest kilometer? And on the right here is an automated radar speed check, and it was reading 12 miles an hour when I ran by, and that gave me a chuckle. So there's 3/4 of a mile in 3:41, so I had gotten some of that time back, and now I am about 4 seconds ahead of schedule. And we are in the 4th quarter, which is the hardest, not just because it's the last quarter, but also because the downhill is pretty much done. And this little stretch that we're on right here is actually a slight uphill. The heart rate on the right in the low 180s is about the highest that I'll ever sustain in any given run. That nearly profane reaction was seeing that I had 0.11 miles left to run and just under 30 seconds left to do it if I wanted to get sub 5. This last little bit here is just all-out grit and effort.
Oh, 4:58. Oh, 4:58. Oh, that was hard. The watch, the lap, 1 mile beeped at 4:58 point. I don't know if it was 0.99, I don't know if it was 0.01. And of course, you run through the lap, because I also wanted to make sure I got the Strava segment. So for 5 minutes and 3 seconds of running, my watch gave me 1.01 miles with an average pace of 4:59. First mile in 4:58 point. That was rough. It felt like a mile, for sure, like a mile race. I'll do the debrief once I get some oxygen back in my system. Sun's coming up though. Started off the day right. All right, my fastest mile. I think this one requires 3 asterisks. 1, It was downhill. It was very downhill. It was a cheater mile. I don't care. I got under 5. So I'm not going to count it as any record or anything. This doesn't change the way I talk about myself as a miler. I still consider myself a 5:05 miler who is only in about 5:12 to 5:13 shape right now. But this is the fastest mile that I've run through space. Okay, second asterisk. This was not a certified mile. No one came out here with a wheel and measured 1,609.344 meters. This was measured by GPS, and I kind of ran through the GPS mark. A third asterisk, of course, this was not an official race. This was something I set up and decided to do, well, really yesterday. So I came out, I put as much in my favor as I could. The only thing I didn't have was pacers or competition, which Faith Kipiegon did have. But I tried to manage everything else I could. No wind today. It's still hot, it's still muggy, but it's the perfect time of morning to do this if you're gonna do it in July. So from what I can remember, 1:13 through the first quarter, 2:29 through the first half, 3:41 through the 3/4 of a mile mark, and then the watch beeped at 4:58. And I'm sure I will have some commentary over the actual footage. So thanks guys for running along with me in my fastest mile. And don't forget to like, subscribe, ding the bell for more content. And I've got another training plan with another new goal coming your way.